I am Slick Nick, your personal, certified Enneagram coach. I love this book specifically. I always talk about it. I always remind you, you can check the link right there. Go to Amazon and buy it for yourself. This is, of all the information available on the internet, this is still better. This book really breaks it down. I want to talk today about Enneagram personalities and ultimately, can your Enneagram personality change? The answer is technically yes, but really the answer is no. So I want to go ahead and unpack that in this video. So here's the deal. Your Enneagram personality is created in your childhood. It's a coping mechanism to help you get through a certain emotion that you have an unhealthy relationship with. It's created in your childhood. And once you adopt that personality, that's you for the rest of your adulthood. Now, with that being said, your wing absolutely can change, and I think mine probably had changed. I'm an Enneagram 7, but I think perhaps when I was maybe in high school, maybe in college, mine was 6. But especially by the time I got married and had kids, it absolutely changed to the 8, more that aggressor, more so than the practical, calm, more personality, the analytical side, maybe that we'd see in a 6 wing. But as a kid, I wasn't a 7. I wasn't. I specifically remember, like say before 3rd grade, I think I wanted to be a perfectionist. I wanted to be a number 1. Which is the number 1, the Enneagram 1. I wanted to be a perfectionist. But by the time I got to 3rd grade, I realized I'm actually not good enough to be a perfectionist. I'm not smart enough to be a perfectionist. So I think I kind of let that go around 3rd grade. And then around 3rd grade, actually same year, I started acting in plays. They needed a boy to play a part where he wasn't even going to be speaking. So I agreed to do it. And then there was a shortage of boys in these plays apparently in my hometown. So the next year they asked me to have a speaking part in the next play, and I agreed. And the next year they needed me to also sing. So for that play, I sang. And I was often in plays. And then I learned how to play guitar. I started writing songs, performing in a band. I was doing all this stuff where I was up in front of people, and it never bothered me. It never freaked me out to be in front of people, entertaining people, public speaking. That's why I graduated with an English degree, because it was so easy to write papers and give speeches. I was so bad at math and science and anything else, but I could talk and I could write and I could act and I could perform. I could do that. So that's why I have an English degree. That's the truth. But I would say sometime around high school, well actually let me back up. As a kid, after I realized I wasn't good enough to be a perfectionist, I think I adopted a number 4, which by the way, I'm gonna put a link in this video that you can watch. Actually, I filmed it this morning. I had my son sitting right here. Age 11, he's totally, absolutely right now, he's a 4 with a 3 wing. He may eventually switch over and officially be a 3, maybe with a 4 wing, but right now as a kid, he cares so much about being perceived as special. And that's something that really matters to him, that he stands out. And so my son is a 4. I was a 4 when I was a kid, but by the time I got to high school, I started switching over to 7. So I want to talk about what that means. You know, a 7 is ultimately someone who's outrunning their anxiety. They have fear, they're trying to stay busy, distract themselves, never be bored, because boredom is pain. That's why in solitary confinement in prison, that's why they put them in there, because boredom registers in the brain the same as pain. That's a fact, look it up. So ultimately, as I became, able to perform in front of people and that sort of thing, I can also think though, there was this bridge between elementary and high school where I totally had like anxiety, like flat out like anxiety attacks, we could say. And granted, my mom, even this before the internet, my mom had learned that red food dye was one of the triggers for it. And as an adult, I've learned another trigger is sugar or even artificial sweeteners can trigger it. But I haven't really had an anxiety attack since I was a kid. I did multiple times as a kid. I thought I outgrew it, and at age 40, just like a month or so ago, I realized pretty much everything I do is based on me trying to outrun my anxiety, constantly staying busy and productive and energetic and positive and enthusiastic and not being in touch with my negative emotions. Yeah, that's me. But it switched over from when I was a kid. So I hope that answers your question. Let's talk more about it. Your comments belong right here.